There's over 1,700 NDAs with Ripple for pre-negotiated contracts, in my personal opinion. And that allows the majority of these financial institutions to already have an allocation, and they can execute that pre-negotiated option on XRP, and be able to get, $1 billion, $500 million, 200 million, whatever it was that they were allocated later on after price appreciates. My wonderful wife's not here with the tea tonight, but I am drinking tea instead of other stuff tonight. Let's see here. Faithful 10 says, Jake, did you have inside baseball on Epstein BTC connection? Is this common knowledge by those in the know? Thanks for your time. Again, I've never been told any of this stuff that I come on here and talk about explicitly from anybody. Okay? There are just things that people say and I go dig, or I will say something and see what their visceral reaction is. And then I make my own conclusions from there, right? And I don't ever want it to be like, when's XRP gonna move? I don't say that stuff. I don't even, most of the time I don't talk about price. Most of the time I don't talk about a specific price. Sometimes I'll say, when XRP is a high price and it's a tier 1 asset, and I see their faces. Anyway, it's stuff like that. There's been things and hints that people have dropped, and I try to pick up the breadcrumbs or the gold nuggets that are shared, and then I take that back and do some work in the lab to figure out what that means. And so you go back to my tweet. I wasn't sure, but based on a lot of the conversations that I had had and some of the stuff that I had seen, I felt like there might be a there. And I wanted to publicly document that, right? And if I'm wrong, you guys know, I will come on here and say I'm wrong. There's been lots of stuff that I've been wrong about here recently. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been right about. So I'm batting about 700. There's going to be, 3 out of the 10 things that I say on here are probably wrong. Okay. That's my track record right now. And I'm cool with that. I think that's a pretty good average. If you were batting 700, pro baseball, you're doing pretty good in the Hall of Fame for sure. All right. Dylan, he says, hey Jake, I have a fancy car already picked out. So, we talking weeks, months, or 2027 slow climb up or light switch? I think it'll be a light switch moment. I do think it's going to be, strike a match, burn, jump type thing when it happens. Like I said, with Evernorth going live here in Q1 and a lot of the DeFi products coming to the XRPL here probably by the end of Q1, maybe a little bit after that, it feels like things could move. And again, they could move at any time. All of the stuff that I talked about at the end of last year is still in play here. It's not like it's changed at all. So, and all it requires is oil. Oil spikes and off we go. Solar flare, off we go maybe. I don't know. Just have to see, where things are. But this seems like a good year. I won't say who I was talking to the other day. Somebody you guys would know, and he was very bullish on XRP in 2026. We got Maniac. They say, Jake the legend. What's up, my dude? Can you shoot out my best XRP friend? Shout out my best XRP friends, Harry and Luke. Shout out to Harry and Luke. Appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the support. After price appreciation, we are off to Ross Bay. Can't wait. Awesome, dude. That sounds like a heck of a time. I hope you all have a fantastic trip. And you guys get to relish in all of the, enjoyment of the success that you're going to have on the other side of price appreciation. I don't mind doing that stuff. Same thing. Joe, I don't know if it was his daughter or his son that emailed us and was like, hey, can you, message my dad? Again, just a regular dude. I don't think of anything special, but I'm happy to, if people get a kick out of that and they think that's cool, I'm happy to wish people a happy birthday. It was his son. Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Joe. Again, happy birthday. We got Go With The Flow 33. They say, hey Jake, why are you so sure that when the reverse carry trade happens, they will use XRP instantly and not QE and money printing first? Well, because we will go into hyperinflation and we're screwed if they do that. And XRP later to save the system when that would not work. They've already done that. I don't know where you've been living, but everything around here where I live is 4 or 5 times more expensive than it was just a decade ago. It is absurd. Like, so as an example, I'm here in New York, right? I won't be able to get a hot dog tomorrow for less than like 15 bucks. I cannot go out to eat in Denver, in Miami, in New York, in San Francisco, for a single person for less than $50. It should be like 10 bucks for me to go get a meal. Like, it is asinine how expensive stuff is. They've already printed the crap out of our money. It is in hyperinflation. And people are very aware of it. Like, you got to work 3 jobs. Most people can't keep up with just normal daily expenses at this point. It is crazy. So they've already done that. They are at the very tail end of this deal. The only way that they can get out of it is to reset the system and have a hard backing of some kind, which I think they will peg gold to oil. And then XRP will be used as a tier 1 asset alongside those to be able to shore up currencies, to be able to back treasuries and stuff that they have. So, and there's not enough gold. There's absolutely not enough gold for them to not have gold at like a $50,000 gold. Lynette Zhang says 42,000. It would have to be crazy prices. So there's going to have to be other things that people use to back the currencies with. And again, you know, I think that that's going to be oil, because Canada ain't got no gold, and XRP. And that makes it fair. You know, every country has at least some gold or some oil and some XRP. And that allows them to be able to back their currency and everybody to be able to compete on a level playing field with their GDP and production. So that's my retort to your question, is they have already done that, and it obviously hasn't worked, and this is the only option that's left. Otherwise, we go to Mad Max, which nobody wants that. GTD XRP says, howdy, bingo master of the legendary proportions. Appreciate you, man. He says, Group 1 Gav here. Hope you are all well. Will self-managed super funds be available to participate in the yield product when launched? Any ETA? Cheers. I don't know what the regulations on a self-managed super fund are. They seem similar to an IRA or a 401k here in the US. They seem like a retirement account. They seem like a qualified account. And the stipulations here in the US, again, not familiar with Australia, is that you can't borrow against the principal. The way that we're structuring this yield product, you're borrowing against the principal. It's you're lending the representation of value to somebody else. So it's held in your account there at Anchorage and gets reflected on somebody else's balance sheet. And then they're able to trade that in overnight repo. So, and they underwrite the risk and the volatility. So it's never rehypothecated, and the assets stay right there in your institutional account. I don't think we're going to be able to do that with IRAs or 401ks that are holding crypto. We will absolutely be able to do it with insurance policies that hold crypto, which is something else I'm excited about.